Good morning. Form 1125E. So if you have an S Corp or an LLC tax as an S Corp and your revenue for the year we are referring to 2020 is $500,000 or more, you are required to complete Form 1125E, compensation of officers. So you will first complete Form 1125E to figure out the compensation, your officer's compensation that will go on Form 1120S line 7. And on that form, there is multiple type of income again that you'll consider to figure out your total revenue of the year. So we are going to take a look at the Form 1125E to find and then find all the different type of revenue you should total together to determine whether your total revenue for the year is $500,000. So it is not the compensation, but it's the revenue of the business to see if you are required to file Form 1125E. If you are not required, then you just put the compensations, the officer's compensation on line 7. But if you are required to file Form 1125E, then you have to file it to find the total compensation for the officers will be the amount from Form 1125E that you will report on line 7, Form 1120S. So it's very crucial you track your revenues properly and the compensation you pay yourself and your officers if you're not the only one owning the business and working in it, so that when you are filing your Form 1120S, you have the information you need on hand to be able to file all the form required. So let's get started. I have the form open here. And you will be able to find the form on IRS website, irs.gov. I will have the link to the form and the link of the instructions for the form as well at ninasop.com, our blog, under free download, under federal forms and instructions. So you'll enter on Form 1125E, compensation of officers. I mean, there are more than one type of business that can use the form, including S Corp as well, Form 1120S. And we do have Corporation 1120 that will use that as well. But I'm just going to focus on S Corp or L.L.C tax as an S Corp. So you'll put the business name on top. Under name, you'll put the business identification number on there as well. Excuse me. So complete Form 1125E only if the total receipts or total sales or total revenue are $500,000 or more. So you'll enter the name of the officers under line 1A or line 1 colon A, all the officers under colon A. Colon B will be their social security number. It is a possibility to just enter the last 4, but if you have the social security number, you might just enter. So percent of time devoted to the business. So before we even start completing this, let's first figure out the total receipt if it's $500,000 or more. So how do you total all your receipt to determine whether or not your total receipt is $500,000 or more? What goes into consideration to determine whether you are required to file Form 1125E? So we'll first look at Form 1120S. And Form 1120S, you'll take into consideration the total receipt or sale that will go on line 1A. You'll also take into consideration net gain from line 4, and that will come from Form 4797 line 19. That's sales of business property, and we should have it open. Form 4797 sales of business property. Part 2, ordinary gain or loss. So if you complete the form, the total from line 17, the net gain, the gain will be taken into consideration as well. Line 5, other income, will be taken into consideration. We can take a look at the instructions for the total receipt for Form 1125E, and they are considering incomes, net gain, income. So you will take into consideration your income, the plus numbers. So let's go to Schedule K. There are information data from Schedule K you'll take into consideration as well. So Schedule K are the gross rental income. So if you have rental income data real estate, they will be taken into consideration. So line 3A, gross rental income. Schedule K, Form 1120S, line 4, interest income. Schedule K, line 5, dividend income. Schedule K, line 6, royalty income. Schedule K, line 7, net short-term gain, capital gain. Schedule K, line 8A, net long-term capital gain. Schedule K, line 9, net Section 1231 gain. And it should come from Form 4797 as well. Schedule K, line 10, other income. So you'll take all those. If you have any number that will go on those lines, you should take them into consideration. Now we will go to Form 8825, rental real estate income and expenses of a partnership or a S corporation. So if you have rental properties, Form 1125A, Form 8825 will be used, and you will pull the total gross rent from line 2. You will take the number from line 19, net gain, and net income from line 28. You will take them into consideration. Add it to 4797 line 17, unless you already included on Form 1120S, and you'll take all the data from Schedule K that we mentioned and income from page 1 of Form 1120S that we mentioned as well. You total them all together, and if it's $500,000 or more, you file Form 1125E. But when you are filing Form 1120S and you know right away that your total revenue is less than $500,000, you don't need to go to that trouble to figure out whether or not you'll reach $500,000. But if you know there is a chance you'll reach $500,000 is worth total all your receipts to see if it is $500,000 or more. And if it is $500,000 or more, then you pull Form 1125E, you enter your business name, your business identification number, the name of all your officers, their social security numbers, and the percentage of time they spend on the business. So it's very crucial you track the time your officers work on your business for your for your own record, to be able to evaluate how the business is doing, how you are working in the business, and where you should improve, where you are allocating your time, your officers are allocating their time. There is a lot of report you can pull out of your time sheet, and if your business is ever audited, you have information to support your to support your business as well. You have record. So if there is a lot of reason why IRS will ask questions about your business. One example would be if you are not making profits, and IRS is wondering whether you are running a not-for-profit business or a not-for-profit organization. You can prove that you and your partners are working hard on the business. So have a time log, and I could show an example, but let's continue for now. So percentage of stock owned, common, preferred. So you will enter, depend on the business. A corporation might have stock, but if you are an LLC tax as an S corp and you don't have stock, then you might just enter the ownership percentage of your officers. So I assume your officers are partners of the business, are shareholders. So you just enter their ownership of the business, and an amount of compensation. So the amount you pay them will go in column F. So what do we include in column F? So that will be their salary, bonuses paid to your officers, fringe benefits, and the fringe benefits to an officer that own 2%, that own more than 2% of the business is taxable. So that's one downside of an S corp compared to a corporation. Corporation, as an officer, you can take fringe benefits, but as an S corp, it's taxable. It has to be added back to the W-2s of the officer. So it will be taxable to the officers. So you need to include the salary, the bonuses, the fringe benefits. If the officer own more than 2% of the business, and let's see the information. I have my notes. I'm not sure if we can just look at the instructions. I want to make sure I cover everything that will go under the compensation here. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much those three. So let's go back to our form. So column F is their compensation, and line 2 will be the total of their compensation. So line 3, compensation of officers claim on Form 1125A or elsewhere on return. So if you have inventory, you sell good, you manufacture or you produce, and the officers work, produce the products, and you allocate some of their compensation to the production. If you put, let me see if I can open Form 25A. So if you put a part of their compensation on Form 1125A, cost of goods sold, you'll enter that on line 3 of Form 1125E. So line 3, cost of labor. If you include officers' compensation on this line 3 of Form 1125A, cost of goods, so that means you will be deducting their compensation as you sell the good. So it's tied to the product in inventory. So that will go on line 3 of Form 1125E. And line 4 will be line 2 minus line 3. So that means your line 2 will include all the compensation you pay to officers, including what went on line 25A as well. Is everything you pay them. So if you have compensation pay that you allocated to line 3 of Form 1125A, it will go on column F. Everything you pay your officers will go on column F, and will total to line 2. And what went to cost of goods sold, what a compensation that is tied to the inventory, will be on line 3, and line 2 minus line 3 will give you line 4. So that line 4 will go on line 7 of Form 1125S, but I mean they are referring to corporation here, but we are talking about S Corp. So let's go check our S Corp form. And line 7 will be of a compensation of officers. So cost of goods sold from 1125A will go on Form 1125S as well on line 2. So a little bit of the compensation tied to that is allocated to goods sold will be deducted on line 2. The remaining compensations that is not tied to the inventory claim on line 7 will be pretty much on line 7. So that's if you have compensation tied to the inventory. Otherwise, all the compensation should be on line 7. So keep in mind that officers' salaries, bonuses, compensations goes on line 7, now on line 8. On line 8 will be for employees. Officers should go on line 7. So that's how you complete form 1125E. And when you complete 1125E, remember to attach it to your form 1120S. You have to add it to it as well. So now let's get back to term sheet. Let's go back to our form here. So if you don't have a software in which you track your times, you could check libredownload.com. We have spreadsheets. You can just pull one spreadsheet. To track time, and I'll put it in the description as well. So pretty much what that does is just allow you to track your time you work in the business. And we do have summary tab that pretty much helps you track how many hours you are spending on each area of your business. And that's something you can design as well, or if you have a software tracking it for you, that's great. Otherwise, you could check what we have at libredownload.com, and it is a way to just see if you are, how you are spending your time. And you'll be able to track it by employees as well. And all you do is, each time you log in, each time you work on the business, you just remember to enter when you start, the date when you start, and right now is 6:06, and that means that's 2 hours plus 9 plus 6 divided by 60, and then you just pretty much either choose how you what you work on, and having a time sheet that you, or a time log that you record on a regular basis, there is no way you'll be able to go back and recreate it. So that's a proof of how you are working in the business, and pretty much you'll be able to analyze where your time has been spent in your business, and what need, where you are spending less time, where you are falling behind, and how you should improve your, or how you should improve your productivity in the business. So there is multiple way you could use how you are tracking your time in your business. And when you need to file Form 1125E, well, it could be a useful tool to help you allocate your officers' time in your business on the Form 1125E as well. Thank you so much for watching our videos. We thank you very much for all your comments, and we thank you all that subscribe to our channel. I'm Afiavi Ojune Libroman, creators of Libron Consulting L.L.C YouTube channel, Libron Consulting L.L.C podcast, and NinaSoap.com, our blog. We do have our online store, including LiberDownload.com, where you'll find spreadsheet templates to manage your finances and your business. We have natural products at NinaSoap.com, Roselle products at LiberOutlet.com, and custom apparels and stationery at LiberLabel.com. Thank you so much for your time.